Hi, everyone. I'm Jasmine Brooks. This is 21 Next. If you're watching on Facebook, hello. Hey, everyone on YouTube. So it is 9:35. We have a lot to get to before the 10 o'clock show, but I actually am bringing you a exclusive story tonight. I talked to two men who have quite an unusual relationship. It dates back a quarter of a century, and it begins in Texas. That's Dr. Harvey Rosenstock you're looking at, and he treated a man named Daniel Shepley. Well, this all again took place in Texas 25 years ago, but today the connection here to Central PA, Daniel Shepley, who you'll see here in a second, actually lives in Millersburg, Dauphin County. He takes care of his mother and his dog right now, so he's a local man, and he is really opening up about an incident that happened a long time ago. Specifically, he tells me he walked in to Dr. Rosenstock's practice in Texas, Houston, Texas, and he pulled a gun out of his satchel. Mind you, the two had no idea who each other was, and it was the first interaction the two had had. So Shepley walks in to the psychiatrist's office with a gun, points it at the psychiatrist, and at that point, the psychiatrist that you're looking at now decides to help the man and never calls police. He said it was a desperate cry for help, and he was willing to do the work and knew that although this was insane, he was willing to help this man, and the two have worked together ever since. I want to read you some of the quotes, the direct quotes from my story, so that you can get a little bit more of a backstory and some real detail on what these two men shared with me through the course of this interview. So first off, Shepley was not only suicidal, clearly he was homicidal. As I said, he brought in that gun. So Dr. Rosenstock says, "There was a man coming out of my waiting room without an appointment, dressed in Gothic black with a satchel." And that is when we learn that there is a 9mm handgun in that satchel. The Houston psychiatrist, looking down the barrel of that gun, he tells me he could bite the muzzle. That is how close he was. Dr. Harvey Rosenstock is a board-certified psychiatrist. He said, "You know what? It didn't sound good to me, but what I said is I work better with the gun in the satchel." I said, "Why didn't you call police?" He said, "I knew this man needed help, and I knew I could help him." And they've been working together ever since. There is so much more with Shepley's story, though. He tells me, and I want to read directly from him, that basically when he was 16 years old, he says he wrote to the Central Intelligence Agency asking how to prepare for a job as a case officer in covert operations. And so what happened was he shared that in a university with a therapist he was seeing, and what they did from then, he says, is falsified medical records. And he said that was the beginning of him going down a dark trail where it really destroyed that opportunity for him. That is his side of the story. Since that time, he had a hit list. He said 6 people were on it, including, those therapists. But Rosenstock, Dr. Rosenstock and Shepley worked hand in hand to help him to work through this and to, not end up dead or in jail, but ended up as friends. So Shepley from here writes a book. It's called The Other Side of Sanity. He writes a book. He shares not only this dramatic and intense moment, but the story of what came to be and what happened after, and the relationship with he and Dr. Rosenstock. And we learn about mental illness. And the two say the message here is that it is never too late to get help, and that life is worth living. It is interesting to hear Daniel Shepley talk. It is interesting to hear Dr. Rosenstock talk. You can hear the full story at cbs21.com right now. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story that I put together for you after speaking with these men. Of course, if you are, experiencing mental health issues, if you are struggling, if you are feeling suicidal, 988 is the number to dial, and you can do that literally at any time. All right, we're going to move on. If you watched our newscast earlier, Alex Sill was out at the Lancaster County Prison. The inmates, they kind of went on a strike last night in the form of not eating. They were sending a message to the guards and officials, that's the warden there. They didn't eat last night. They went on a food strike for a little while because they were protesting the lack of air conditioning in the building. They also go on to say the water was not fresh. It was not good. And so again, this is at the Lancaster County Prison. So you saw the warden in the lime green blazer. So she spoke out publicly saying that when the weather gets warmer, okay, they do tend to see prisoners get angry. And, you know, if it means not eating to send a message, she says that is commonly how they communicate to take action, if you will. So there are no plans to install permanent air conditioning in the jail. Eventually, a new county prison is scheduled to be constructed. So that was one reason. You can see on the screen, salty water. That was another issue that the prisoners said they had. And so this brief hunger strike was just in retaliation to these conditions. The warden goes on to say she tried the water. It was salty. She also says it was saltier than normal, but safe to drink. That was her response there. All right, and then please go to CBS21.com if you want the in-depth story. We're kind of giving you a preview here. I want to talk a little bit about something maybe perhaps a little happier to make you laugh. How about Adam Sandler? We learned tonight that he's coming to Hershey, so that's a big deal. There's this tour. I mean, it's going to sell out in no time, I'm sure. He obviously is a critically acclaimed comedian. Everyone knows Adam Sandler, and it's called You're My Best Friend Tour, and it's coming to Hershey. His show's going to be at the Giant Center Sunday, September 28th at 7:30 p.m. HersheyEntertainment.com is the place to get tickets. And so Adam Sandler coming to Hershey. I hope you'll join us tonight because Steve Knight will be in tonight to give you that forecast. It is continuing, to be warm, but you know what? Tomorrow is cooler than normal. So focus on Friday with a high of 76 degrees. And that's because, that cooler, cloudier weather is coming in after the rain, which is great if you want to cool down and just kind of have more enjoyable temperatures. If you don't like the really, really hot weather we've been experiencing. And then literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the next 6 days, it is isolated thunderstorms. So at any time, okay, I lied. Wednesday, Thursday, it doesn't say that, but for the next several days, we're talking thunderstorms at any given time. So just be on the lookout for that. Because, that could really put a damper on your plans. I will see you at 10 o'clock. I hope that you have enjoyed these past 8 years with me because tomorrow is my last day here at CBS 21 and it has been a wonderful ride. I can't share where I'm going with you right now, but I will say there's so much more to come. And as soon as I can fill you in on the details, I surely will. So I'll see you at 10 o'clock. If you can't catch us at 10, catch us at 11. And I'll be back here tomorrow as well. This is 21 Next. Please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and leave lots of comments. I'm Jasmine Brooks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.